Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. There's a power in knowing who you are. There's a strength in understanding your worth. And when you walk with purpose, you don't have to chase anything that isn't meant for you. A woman of God knows her worth. She doesn't need validation from the world because she already understands who she is in the eyes of God. Her confidence isn't built on compliments, attention, or the pursuit of others. It is rooted in something much deeper, something unshakable. She carries herself with a quiet strength, an undeniable presence, and a grace that doesn't waver based on who notices her. When a woman knows her worth, she doesn't tolerate being treated as an option. She refuses to entertain men who only show up when it's convenient for them. She doesn't fall for empty promises, half-hearted efforts, or inconsistent affection. She understands that real love is intentional, it is steady, and it is clear. A man who truly values her will not leave her questioning where she stands. Because she knows her worth, she does not chase. She does not lower her standards just to be chosen. She does not beg for attention, nor does she compromise her dignity just to keep someone interested. She understands that if she has to chase, then it was never hers to begin with. Love, respect, and commitment should be given freely, not forced or manipulated. This kind of woman moves differently. She doesn't engage in games, she doesn't seek validation from relationships, and she doesn't let loneliness dictate her choices. She remains steadfast, trusting that what is meant for her will come in the right time and in the right way. She believes in divine alignment, in God's perfect timing, and she knows that settling for anything less than she deserves will only lead to regret. Knowing her worth means she has boundaries. She doesn't allow people to come and go as they please. She doesn't entertain men who aren't serious about her. She doesn't give her heart to someone who hasn't proven themselves worthy of it. She understands that protecting her peace is just as important as protecting her heart. A woman of God guards her spirit, her energy, and her time because she understands that not everyone deserves access to her. Her self-worth is evident in the way she carries herself. She is confident but not arrogant, strong but not harsh, loving but not desperate. She can stand alone without feeling incomplete because she knows that her value is not tied to a relationship status. She is whole, she is complete, and she is content whether she is single or in a relationship. When a woman of God walks in this kind of confidence, she naturally attracts the right kind of people. She doesn't have to chase love, it finds her. She doesn't have to beg for attention, respect is given to her effortlessly. She doesn't have to force a relationship because the right one will recognize her worth and rise to meet her at her level. This is the power of a woman who knows who she is. She doesn't chase, she doesn't settle, and she never forgets her value. She trusts God's timing, not her emotions. In a world that encourages instant gratification and quick fixes, she chooses patience. She understands that emotions are fleeting, unpredictable, and often misleading, but God's timing is perfect. Instead of rushing into relationships out of fear, loneliness, or pressure, she waits with wisdom and discernment. She knows that making decisions based on temporary feelings can lead to permanent regrets. This kind of woman does not allow impatience to push her into something that is not meant for her. She doesn't settle just because she feels like time is passing by. She doesn't let societal expectations make her feel as if she is behind. She understands that just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it never will. What is meant for her will come, and it will come in the right season. She has seen what happens when people rush into relationships based on feelings alone. She has witnessed heartbreak caused by impatience, and she refuses to make that mistake. Instead, she chooses to walk in faith, believing that the right man will come when the time is right. She does not let loneliness dictate her choices, nor does she let temporary emotions cloud her judgment. When she trusts God's timing, she finds peace in the waiting. She doesn't feel the need to chase after a man who isn't pursuing her because she knows that love should be mutual and intentional. She doesn't waste her energy on someone who isn't making an effort because she understands that the right man will not need to be convinced of her value. She refuses to force something that isn't naturally aligning with God's plan for her life. This trust in divine timing gives her the strength to walk away from anything that does not serve her. She doesn't hold on to relationships that are going nowhere just because she is afraid of being alone. She doesn't stay in situations that make her feel undervalued or unappreciated. Instead, she listens to God's voice. even when it tells her to let go. She understands that rejection is often redirection, and she trusts that walking away from the wrong thing will make space for the right thing. Her faith is stronger than her feelings. She knows that emotions come and go, but God's promises remain. She does not let momentary happiness blind her from long-term consequences. She is patient because she knows that love built on faith, trust, and divine timing will always be worth the wait. By trusting God's timing, she frees herself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. She doesn't feel the need to chase, manipulate, or control situations. She rests in the assurance that what is meant for her will not pass her by. She moves with confidence, knowing that God is working behind the scenes, preparing something far greater than she could ever imagine. And because of that, she can stand firm, secure, and unwavering in her faith, never settling for anything less than his best. She walks with purpose, not desperation. A woman who knows her calling does not spend her time chasing after a man who isn't pursuing her. She is too focused on her own growth, her faith, and her mission to be distracted by someone who doesn't see her worth. She understands that her life is not defined by whether or not she is in a relationship, but by how well she is fulfilling the purpose that God has given her. Her energy is directed toward becoming the best version of herself. She invests in her spiritual growth, her career, her passions, and the people who truly matter. She doesn't sit around waiting for someone to complete her because she knows she is already whole. She doesn't believe the lie that her happiness is dependent on another person. Instead, she finds joy in her journey, knowing that true fulfillment comes from within and from her relationship with God, because she walks with purpose. She refuses to waste time on things that do not align with her destiny. She does not entertain men who are inconsistent, who play games, or who lack direction in their own lives. She knows that a true partner should complement her, not distract her. If a man is not adding value to her life, she has no problem letting him go. She is not afraid to walk alone for a season if it means waiting for the right person rather than settling for the wrong one. This kind of woman is not moved by pressure or impatience. She does not let the fear of being single push her into a relationship that does not serve her. She does not compare her journey to others because she understands that everyone's path is different. Just because others around her are getting married or starting families does not mean she has to rush her own process. She trusts that everything will fall into place in its own time. Her confidence comes from knowing that she is more than enough on her own. She does not rely on external validation to feel worthy. Whether she is single or in a relationship, her purpose remains the same. She is constantly growing, evolving, and preparing herself for the future that God has in store for her. She is focused on building a life that is fulfilling with or without a partner. When a woman walks with this kind of purpose, she naturally attracts the right kind of people. A man who is truly meant for her will recognize her strength, her faith, and her ambition. He will not expect her to chase him because he will be drawn to her confidence and her unwavering sense of self. She does not need to convince someone to see her value. Her actions, her mindset, and the way she carries herself make it clear. She knows that love is not about desperation, but about alignment. She is not looking for someone to complete her. She is looking for someone who complements the amazing person she already is. And because of that, she never chases, never begs, and never settles. She does not let her emotions control her decisions. A woman who is guided by faith rather than fleeting feelings understands the importance of self-discipline. She knows that emotions are temporary, constantly shifting with circumstances, but the wisdom that comes from God is steady and unchanging. Because of this, she does not allow loneliness, frustration, or impatience to dictate her choices, especially when it comes to relationships. She understands that emotions can be powerful, but they should never be the sole factor in making life-altering decisions. She has seen people rush into relationships out of fear of being alone, only to regret it later. She has witnessed others lower their standards because their emotions convinced them that they would never find better. But she refuses to let temporary feelings push her into something that is not meant for her. Instead, she leans on discernment, wisdom, and patience. Because she does not let emotions lead her, she does not chase after a man who is not pursuing her. She does not allow a moment of attraction or admiration to cloud her judgment. She takes the time to evaluate whether the man's actions align with his words. She watches how he treats her, how he respects her boundaries, and whether his intentions are genuine. She does not ignore red flags just because her emotions are telling her to hold on. She understands that love should be clear, not confusing. If a man truly wants to be in her life, he will show it through his consistent actions, not just empty promises. When emotions try to pull her into desperation, she reminds herself that true love is worth the wait. She does not let fear tell her that she will never find someone better. She does not allow past heartbreaks to make her settle for less than she deserves. She understands that emotions come and go, but decisions made in wisdom will have lasting impact. Because of this, she is careful with her heart. She does not give it away to just anyone who gives her attention. She knows that attention is not the same as love, and she refuses to mistake one for the other. This woman moves with intention. She does not react impulsively to situations that trigger her emotions. If a man starts pulling away, she does not chase after him or beg him to stay. Instead, she steps back, observes, and allows him to show her where he truly stands. If he is meant for her, he will make it clear. If he is not, she is strong enough to walk away without hesitation. She knows that emotions may make her want to hold on, but wisdom tells her to let go of anything that is not aligned with her best interests. Her ability to control her emotions gives her peace. She does not waste energy on things that drain her or relationships that bring confusion. She moves in clarity, confidence, and faith, knowing that what is meant for her will never require her to act out of desperation. She focuses on purpose, not pursuit. A woman who understands her calling does not waste time chasing after a man who isn't meant for her. She knows that her life has meaning beyond relationships, and she refuses to let her worth be defined by whether she is single or taken. Instead of running after temporary attention, she dedicates her time and energy to growing into the woman she is meant to be. Her focus is on becoming the best version of herself, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even professionally. She is invested in her relationship with God, building her character, developing her talents, and serving in ways that make a real impact. She is not waiting for a man to complete her or give her life direction. She already has a direction, and she is walking boldly in it. When she wakes up in the morning, her thoughts are not consumed by who is or isn't giving her attention. Instead, she asks herself how she can grow, how she can serve, and how she can move closer to fulfilling her destiny. Because she is focused on her purpose, she does not have time for distractions. She is not entertained by men who are inconsistent, unsure, or unwilling to match her level of ambition. If a man is not aligned with her vision or does not add value to her life, she does not hesitate to move forward without him. She understands that the right relationship should complement her journey, not pull her away from it. A man who is truly meant for her will not require her to abandon her dreams or compromise her values just to be with him. Instead, he will support her, encourage her, and walk alongside her as she pursues what God has placed on her heart. Her commitment to purpose keeps her from settling. She does not accept a relationship just because she is tired of waiting. She does not entertain a man simply because he shows her attention for a moment. She knows that true love is not found in desperation, but in alignment. The right person will come at the right time, and until then, she is content with growing and preparing herself for the future. This mindset gives her a sense of confidence and peace. She does not feel the need to chase after anyone because she knows that what is meant for her will naturally align with her journey. She does not stress over when or how she will meet the right man because she trusts that it will happen in divine timing. She is not afraid of being single because she knows that being single with purpose is far better than being in a relationship without direction. A woman who focuses on her purpose is magnetic. She attracts the right people, the right opportunities, and eventually the right man. She does not have to chase love because love will find her in the process of becoming everything she was created to be. And when the right man comes along, he will not be someone she has to pursue. He will be someone who recognizes her worth and pursues her with the same level of intention and purpose. She understands that real love doesn't require chasing. A woman who values herself knows that when something is meant for her, she won't have to force it, beg for it, or chase after it. She recognizes that genuine love is mutual, not one-sided. A man who truly wants to be with her will not leave her feeling confused, anxious, or uncertain about where she stands in his life. Instead, he will pursue her with clarity, consistency, and intent because she understands this. She does not waste time on someone who is unsure about her. She does not sit around waiting for a man to make up his mind about whether or not he wants to commit. She knows that love should be given freely, not as a reward for effort. If she has to convince someone to see her value, then that person is not meant for her. Love should not feel like a constant battle for attention or affection. Instead, it should be a natural, steady, and secure connection between two people who recognize and appreciate each other's worth. She refuses to engage in games or chase after someone who is emotionally unavailable. If a man is hot and cold, giving her mixed signals, or only showing up when it is convenient for him, she steps away without hesitation. She knows that inconsistency is not a sign of love, but rather a sign of immaturity, indecision, or even manipulation. A real man with genuine intentions will make it clear where he stands. He will not play with her emotions or keep her guessing. Her confidence in love comes from her understanding of self-worth. She knows that she is deserving of a relationship where she is cherished and pursued, not one where she has to fight to be noticed. She does not measure her value by whether or not a man chooses her, because she already knows she is enough. She does not need validation from a relationship to feel whole. She is secure in who she is, and she trusts that when the right person comes along, he will see her value without her having to prove anything. This mindset allows her to walk away from situations that do not serve her. If she sees that a relationship lacks effort, respect, or consistency, she does not try to hold on tighter. Instead, she lets go and moves forward, knowing that something better is ahead. She understands that what is truly meant for her will never require her to chase. It will come to her in the right way, at the right time, and with the right person. A woman who understands real love does not chase because she does not have to. She carries herself with dignity and self-respect, knowing that the love she deserves will find her when the time is right. And when it does, it will be clear, mutual, and built on a foundation of trust, commitment, and genuine connection. She demands respect without saying a word. A woman who knows her value does not have to beg for respect. She carries herself in a way that commands it. Her presence alone makes it clear that she will not tolerate being treated as an afterthought, an option, or a convenience. She moves with confidence, grace, and certainty, knowing that respect is not something she has to chase. It is something she naturally attracts through the way she lives her life. She does not allow people to come in and out of her life as they please. She sets boundaries and expects them to be honored. If someone repeatedly disrespects her time, her emotions, or her values, she does not make excuses for them. She makes decisions. She walks away from situations that do not align with her self-worth, knowing that staying in a place where she is not respected only diminishes her own dignity. Her silence is powerful. She does not argue, beg, or plead for a man to see her worth. She knows that if someone cannot recognize her value on their own, then they were never meant to be part of her life. She does not waste her breath trying to convince someone to treat her right, because she understands that the right person will never have to be convinced. Instead, she lets her actions speak for her by refusing to accept less than she deserves and by making choices that reflect her self-respect. She is not impressed by empty words. Compliments, sweet talk, and promises mean nothing to her if they are not backed up by actions. She watches how a man treats her, how he prioritizes her, and how he respects her boundaries. If his words do not align with his behavior, she does not wait around for him to change. She understands that respect is not about what is said, it is about what is shown. Because she carries herself with this level of self-respect, people take notice. The way she moves, the way she speaks, and the way she interacts with others all reflect her inner confidence. She does not need to announce that she is a woman of worth. Her presence alone makes it clear. She does not have to demand respect with force because it is given to her naturally by those who recognize her strength and integrity. She refuses to settle for anything less than she deserves. Whether in friendships, relationships, or professional settings, she upholds a standard that cannot be lowered. She does not tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or inconsistency because she knows that allowing these things only diminishes her own value. Instead, she surrounds herself with people who honor her, appreciate her, and treat her with the level of respect she gives to herself. A woman who commands respect does not chase. It is beneath her to run after something that does not recognize her worth. She remains steadfast, knowing that the right people will see her value without her having to prove it. And because of this, she walks through life with grace, confidence, and the unwavering assurance that respect is not something she has to demand. It is something she deserves. She values her peace over temporary companionship. A woman who truly understands her worth knows that no relationship is worth sacrificing her inner peace. She does not cling to a man just to avoid being alone, nor does she entertain toxic situations in the hope that they will eventually change. She prioritizes her emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being above all else, knowing that a relationship should add to her life, not bring unnecessary stress, confusion, or pain. She has learned that peace is priceless. She refuses to involve herself in relationships that drain her, cause anxiety, or make her question her own self-worth. She knows the difference between a love that uplifts and a connection that depletes. If a relationship constantly brings chaos, uncertainty, or emotional instability, she walks away without hesitation. She does not try to fix, chase, or force something that is clearly not meant for her. Because she values her peace, she does not tolerate games or inconsistency. If a man cannot be upfront about his intentions, if he is inconsistent with his words and actions, or if he brings unnecessary drama into her life, she recognizes that it is not her responsibility to fix him. She understands that a healthy relationship should bring clarity, not confusion, joy, not exhaustion, security, not doubt. If she has to constantly question where she stands with someone, she knows that her peace is already being compromised. She is not afraid of being alone. She understands that solitude is far better than settling for a relationship that does not serve her well. She uses her time alone to grow, reflect, and strengthen her relationship with God. She does not rush into love out of fear, nor does she allow loneliness to make decisions for her. She trusts that the right relationship will come at the right time, and until then, she enjoys the peace that comes from living a life of purpose and self-respect. This kind of woman is selective about who she allows into her space. She guards her heart, not because she is afraid to love, but because she knows that love should never come at the cost of her well-being. She sets boundaries, not to push people away, but to ensure that only those who truly respect and value her are able to remain in her life. She knows that real love will never require her to compromise her peace. Her peace gives her confidence. She does not feel the need to chase after anyone because she knows that a relationship should feel like a place of rest, not a battlefield. She understands that the right person will bring more peace into her life, not take it away. She is not easily swayed by words or gestures. She looks at how a person makes her feel in their presence. If a relationship does not align with the peace she has built, she is strong enough to walk away. By valuing her peace, she positions herself for something greater. She knows that the love she deserves will never come at the cost of her emotional stability. She is patient, trusting that when the right man comes along, he will not bring confusion or distress. He will be a partner who respects, cherishes, and protects the peace she has worked so hard to maintain. She trusts in divine timing and refuses to settle. A woman who understands her worth knows that love is not something to be rushed. She does not allow societal pressure, loneliness, or impatience to push her into a relationship that is not aligned with her destiny. She trusts that everything in her life, including love, will come at the right time, in the right way, and with the right person. Because of this, she is not in a hurry. She is content in her season, knowing that what is meant for her will not pass her by. She understands that settling for less than she deserves will only lead to regret. She refuses to compromise her values, self-respect, or happiness just to have someone by her side. She does not see being single as a burden, but as an opportunity to grow, to heal, and to prepare for the kind of relationship that is truly worthy of her. She recognizes that a rushed relationship often leads to heartbreak, while patience leads to a love that is strong, lasting, and fulfilling. Because she trusts in divine timing, she is not moved by the opinions of others. She does not compare her journey to that of her friends, family, or society's expectations. She does not allow the voices around her to make her feel as though she is falling behind or that she must settle because of her age, circumstances, or past experiences. She knows that each person's path is different, and she has faith that her story will unfold in the way it is meant to. She refuses to entertain relationships that lack purpose. If a man is not intentional about pursuing her with respect, clarity, and commitment, she has no problem walking away. She does not waste time trying to make something work that was never meant for her. She has learned that delaying her blessings by holding on to the wrong person only blocks what is truly meant for her. Because of this, she lets go of anything that does not align with her future, trusting that something greater is ahead. Her patience is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It takes great courage to wait for the love she truly deserves, rather than settling for what is convenient. She knows that true love is not built on desperation, but on mutual effort, respect, and understanding. She is willing to wait for a relationship that is rooted in honesty, faithfulness, and shared purpose, rather than forcing something that is not meant to last. By trusting in divine timing, she walks in peace. She is not anxious, worried, or constantly searching for love. She is focused on becoming the best version of herself, knowing that when the time is right, love will find her. And when it does, it will not require her to chase, settle, or compromise. It will be the kind of love that was always meant for her. She knows that the right man will recognize her worth without her having to prove it. A woman who understands her value does not waste time trying to convince someone to choose her, love her, or commit to her. She knows that real love is not about chasing, persuading, or proving her worth to someone who does not see it. Instead, she carries herself with confidence, trusting that the right man will recognize and appreciate her without hesitation. She does not believe in forcing connections. If a man is unsure about her, inconsistent in his efforts, or hesitant about committing, she does not take it upon herself to change his mind. She knows that a man who is truly interested will make his intentions clear. He will not leave her guessing or questioning where she stands in his life. He will not need constant reminders of her value because he will see it on his own. A man who is truly meant for her will step up without being pushed, fight for her without being asked, and pursue her with the kind of effort that is undeniable. She understands that love is about mutual choice, not one-sided effort. She is not interested in convincing someone to be with her or proving that she is worthy of love. She already knows she is worthy, and she understands that the right relationship will be built on mutual respect, effort, and appreciation. She does not chase after a man because she knows that the man who is meant for her will not need to be chased. He will meet her at the same level, with the same energy, and with the same desire to build something real. She values her time and energy. She does not invest in relationships that leave her feeling emotionally drained, unappreciated, or undervalued. She does not waste her time on a man who is half-hearted, distracted, or She recognizes that her love is not something to be taken lightly, and she will not settle for someone who treats it as anything less than precious. If a man does not see her worth, she does not try harder. She simply moves on, knowing that the right one will see it without her having to prove a thing. Because she understands her worth, she is patient. She does not settle for temporary attention or shallow affection. She waits for the kind of love that is deep, intentional, and unwavering. She knows that a man who truly values her will not take her presence for granted. He will show up for her, respect her, and cherish her without needing to be convinced. A woman who knows her worth does not chase because she does not have to. She stands firm in who she is, knowing that when the right man comes along, he will not require proof of her value. He will already see it. And when that happens, love will not feel like a game or a struggle. It will feel natural, mutual, and meant to be. A woman who knows her worth never chases because she understands that real love is mutual, intentional, and undeniable. She trusts in divine timing, values her peace, and refuses to settle. The right man will see her value without persuasion, and when love comes, it will align effortlessly with her purpose.